Yeah.
Act on.
Yeah.
Well, JD
Pulling it.
I have.
You can't get hurt with a pitcher. You can't stop it.
You
I don't
pull-
understand how.
you pull
Or unless you get hit by a ball.
That's right, though. Please play baseball.
Notification, what's up going on? What's going on? You were just at LA Comic-Con. How was it? I don't care. We're here at the Ranger wrap-up. We're going to be talking about all the latest and greatest in the Power Ranger news. But, no, really, how was it? LA Comic-Con. You didn't like it, huh?
It's whatever.
Why?
It wasn't as fun as last year.
The funny moment was out of this was just your silence because you didn't know how to say I didn't like it. Just admit
Wait,
you didn't
do
like it.
you somewhat regret getting a room out there because it's such a lackluster convention this year?
Yeah.
Do you really?
I thought there was gonna be a lot more stuff going on outside, but no.
Are there at least any parties?
No, not that I know of. Like nothing.
I am so glad I missed this
do you
con.
remember
I
last
am
year?
so
Do you
glad.
remember last year they had that Black Eyed Peas party?
Yeah.
They had nothing.
Hey, that's that night that you,
I saw them too.
Who?
The comic book man.
No, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You started a fight with them.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
that night that you helped that homeless person and you hooked
Yeah.
up with that one girl.
I did not make up with that girl.
Let's move on to this show. We have a lot to talk about today,
Jezzer
but
showing up with homeless
half of this stuff on this list I don't even care about. But
Come on.
here's the deal. We like talking about Power Rangers. We're going to talk about Power Rangers the way we want to talk about them, but we're going to talk about the stuff that's on this side of the list. Actually, I take that back.
Well,
Of course, zoom in on me.
Well, because you're
I'm
giving the
number one.
dirt. We got to get on you.
I don't care about the first thing. I care about the second thing. Don't really care about the third thing. Fourth thing's all right. Fifth thing's all right. All right, so I do want to
Second,
ask.
fourth, and
I do
final.
want to ask though. At LA Comic-Con.
okay.
If you had to compare it to a convention that you've been to that people would know about, what would you compare it to?
To be honest, it was a lot like Long Beach this year.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
thought you were gonna say New York, but New York's on a whole other level.
New York
huh?
is different. There's actually, they kept it in one hall. It's all in one hall. Everything is kind of clustered and pushed together.
What?
And like, there's nothing like T-Mobile has a big booth. That's about it.
Oh, of course they do. That makes the most sense. T-Mobile to have a booth at LA Comic-Con.
Yeah.
What the fuck are they thinking? All right, I do have a question. People are asking about, like, yeah, I do like the Dodgers. They're my team. Here's the thing, though. I don't have to worry about missing the game because yesterday's game went 7.5 hours.
Yeah.
So, trust me, I'll be sure to make it by the end of the end of the game.
Is there
Daniel,
another one tonight?
yeah, it's right now.
Oh my god.
The Dodgers are not looking to lose, man. I'm sorry,
that
they're
why
not
they're
looking to lose.
freaking
That's why the
down
game went so
three-way?
long because they were like, "Oh, we're not going to lose."
Did you know Sundays is the first time ever in LA that there's 5 events going on simultaneously?
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a marathon.
Yeah.
There's a marathon. There's a concert. There's a Bruno Mars concert.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's obviously LA Comic-Con.
The Dodgers,
The
yep.
Dodgers are playing the playoffs, and the Clippers are going to be playing tomorrow, as well. I believe is the Rams.
Wait,
So
the Clippers are gonna be in the Staples Center with Bruno Mars?
I think one's going before the other.
Yeah, of course.
Dang, I hate to be the people that have to like.
Set that
I'm
up.
not a
It's
fan.
terrible.
Not a
Terrible.
fan of that. Work.
Anyway, enough about Los Angeles, one of the greatest cities in the world. Sorry if you're not from here, but where are you from? I'd like to know.
ASL.
If you're from Boston, though, you may not answer at all. But let's start this off and talk about Power Rangers Super Ninja Steel. What a stinker!
Oh my god.
Hey,
Oh my
guys,
God.
look. There was a lesson to be learned, and
Yeah.
it wasn't learned in this episode.
No, there's
That's
a
all I'm
lesson. No,
saying.
the lesson to be learned is don't practice magic. That's
That's it.
First
Dude,
of all, this
Why?
episode,
Why?
this episode started off on the wrong tone with me when they said, you know, we took this magic class to get all the girls. That's not a thing. You're not,
Oh, no,
really
no,
not
no.
No, we
okay,
learned that
no.
from Barney Stinson.
Yeah,
Magic
exactly.
gets him nowhere.
Nowhere. Actually, magic is one of the creepiest things you can ever do. You're trying to get a woman. But yet, when I say this,
But
I
Preston
promise
gets away
you,
with it.
people are going to be all over the internet. Magic is what brings women to men and blah. It's
No,
not
it
true,
doesn't.
man.
No, it doesn't.
It's not true. It doesn't.
There's never been a case, unless it's like.
Unless you're David Copperfield.
No, sleight of hand, like on the street magic, where you're like,
Oh,
oh, yeah,
yeah,
that type
yeah.
of stuff, maybe. But you have to be charming as shit.
Or
Like,
the Magic for Human stuff where it's like
Yeah.
they're doing that because it's like more of a trick.
Yeah.
It's not
But
really magic.
here's the biggest
you know?
problem with the episode. It wasn't just this. It was the fact that Preston cast a spell on the teacher.
He didn't mean to. He tried to hit the beat.
Yeah, but wasn't honest about it and was like, hey, this
You
was
didn't
my
tell
fault.
me
That's the
Just
thing.
kind of
That was
covered
my
it up.
problem. That was my
Kinda
problem.
covered it up and then was like, you know what? Maybe I can sign a petition and make things okay. Didn't take responsibility for anything.
And then on top of that, he goes ahead and pretty much what you're learning is hurt someone, and then if you want to fix it,
You
go
gotta
hurt someone
somebody
else
else.
so they can learn what that hurt is.
Yes.
So now they're sympathetic.
This is the perfect way to use your ninja skills.
This is
They did with the keys.
this is definitely not this is the lesson of, you know what? You want to feel my pain? I'm going to show you.
gonna
What
show you, yeah,
this is like
exactly.
a revenge lesson.
That is, and it's not good. It's
Probably not the best writing. Now, for all of you folks that were like, "Oh, Chiplin's are,"
No, I was reading some of the comments from last week's. There are some people that just like don't agree with it.
I think
That's
it's from
not
here.
me, that's
It's
from
from
here.
here.
It's not me.
But yeah, the writing is definitely bad. This episode, I don't know. I don't like the whole him turning into a chicken thing. It's just like
That was actually pretty funny. I actually did like
Okay,
that.
this is the thing. I definitely enjoy when Monty and Victor do that stuff. I do because it's just they're comedic geniuses, man. I'm sorry to say it. They
Yeah.
really know how to work. They know how to work the room. They know how to use physically how to do things to just really convey a story, and I love it.
It's a
So
lot
when
of
they got on screen,
physical
yeah,
comedy.
physical comedy, and when they get on screen, I'm just like, all right, cool. I'm just
Yeah.
like,
It's
at least
just fun.
something
And
I'm
then
gonna
it's
enjoy.
just free.
Something I'm gonna enjoy. And sure, him turning into a chicken. It's stupid. It's sophomoric.
And-
It's kiddish. But I loved every minute.
realistically,
Loved
if,
every minute.
if a teacher was caught like sleeping in class, would they really get fired right away?
Nah, well, it depends on what was happening in the class. Like if he's in shop class, you never want to be asleep in shop
Yeah,
class.
okay.
A student's gonna lose a finger,
Yeah,
and it's gonna be your fault. But besides that, a magic club, and this is a club after school,
It's an
man.
after school. It's an after school event. He's just letting them use his class. It's
Yeah,
not. It's not
dude.
technically working.
So him sleeping, is it gonna get him fired? No.
All right, so this episode, man, was it rough?
Oh boy.
They had that one monster where he kind of did that Men in Black thing where there's a little guy.
Actually, kind of like that too.
Okay, so the thing is, and we should have
Was that a
figured this out a
callback to
long time
something?
ago.
I don't think
No,
so.
we should have known this a long time ago. Tynamon, whatever his name is. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's kind
Tynamon.
of like Tynamon.
Mm-hmm.
That's tiny monster. That's exactly what it means. We should have known this a long time ago, and we didn't. But when Madame Odius was like, "I'm tired of you," and she just brought him out, I was like, "What? What?" I was shocked for a second. Like I didn't know he was really a small monster.
like I said, we want you guys to chime in, give us your rankings. We have the super chat feature, so if you want us to, shout you out or whatever it may be, hit us up with the super chat. It helps support the show. But here's some fun facts. There are some notes on this episode.
Oh, wow.
Anybody that's a fan of what we do on the Retro Ranger wrap-up, we have notes and errors on this show. We're going to start with the notes real quick. This episode marks the destruction and final appearance of General Tynamon. This is also the first and only episode where Levi uses an element star. This is the only episode where all 6 Rangers use a Mega Morph cycle. For the second year in a row, episode 18 has been devoted to Preston and his magic.
yeah.
This episode was originally titled A Simple Mistake, because it's all about making mistakes
Yeah,
and
right.
forgiveness.
Add magic.
But it's also about admitting to mistakes, which Preston did not do.
No.
Matt.
Since Preston's debut of his Lion Fire mode, Haley, Sarah are the only Rangers who have not used the Lion Fire armor.
No.
Foxatron is mentioned after Brody's Ninja Star is damaged. The Romeo and Juliet play from Attack of the Galactic Ninjas that Preston and Haley were in was also mentioned. Now, there are some errors in this episode. During the battle with Brax, when the Rangers create the 5 element barricades, it shows the 5 of them spinning the element star in fire mode. Also, after they spin the element star, Preston, Haley, and Sarah switch positions. Also, when Brody is defeated by Brax, he is holding his Ninja Star Blade and the Superstar Blade. However, right before he demorphs, he is only seen with his Ninja Star Blade. When Preston arrives on top of the Ninja Ultra Zord, his Ninja Ultra Blade has the Ninja Ultra Star in it, despite Brody being the one who used it.
I didn't
So
even
there
notice any of
are
that.
a few errors. You guys are giving it some rankings. Jared gives it a 1. We got Thomas Franco giving it a 4.5. Layla gives it a 0. Edward Sanchez gives it a 4.
Dang, she goes, this is the 15th time I dropped Ninja Fail.
Dang.
Daniel Diaz gives it a 4. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, I mean, you guys seem to like it. Also, share out this video. We want to get the Power Ranger community involved in this specifically, mainly because we do want to just kind of shoot the stuff about Power Rangers.
Nice save. Nice save.
Yeah.
That was a catch there. That's what you call a catch. But we do want to talk about some certain things that are going on in the fandom. And mainly, I want to get something off my chest about Hasbro and toy, but I'll do that at the end of the episode, towards the end of the episode.
Perfect.
But we're going to move into our next topic, which is the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers comic book. So this is a better version of what we are getting, number 32. However, and Jezzer was here on Thursday, and him and I talked about this very briefly, because you were on the horror show and I was on the superhero show, and we were talking, and I think that was right after this issue came out, and I was like, oh, they revealed the Dark Ranger. And you're like, who is it? And I was like, I have no idea, because none of the characters, can't tell who any of them are.
None of the characters.
I don't think it's a character we know, but Jezzer, walk me through this issue a little bit, or at least give me the highlights.
Well, like I was saying before, when they started this Beyond the Grid series, the tone has changed. It turned into, like I said, a Star Trek show. Like it's like this explorers in space and everything. And there's a bunch of different aliens. But the thing that makes this comic hard to follow a little bit is the non-likeness that these characters have. Like, it's very hard to tell who these characters
I didn't find that problem this time. I mean, I knew who the Dark Ranger was. I knew who, what's her name? I knew the Kimberly of this universe
by
was.
their clothes, right?
By her clothes and her haircut. I knew who Heckle was by his clothing. Those two you can automatically tell.
But you can't tell by their likeness, though.
Yeah, their likeness is
Heckle is just like, I know, but I can only tell by his clothing. And then Tanya, I could tell because she wore a yellow shirt.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's
Tanya really doesn't look like Tanya at all.
No, she doesn't.
None of them
Tanya
look
at
like
all.
any of them.
No.
She didn't.
This is not, by the way, an attack on the art. The art's great, but I
love
think
it.
that they're just kind of moving away from the style in which they,
Well, because I think what they're doing, like you said before, we talked about it when you did say it that time. I think they are moving away from the whole idea of, well, okay, there's a particular look that these Rangers have. Because now we're going into an idea where the Power Rangers themselves are a bigger mythos than what the TV show was.
Yeah.
And that's why with that, sometimes we're going to take liberty with the way they look, just like we do with Bruce Wayne in comics, just like we do with some of the X-Men in comics. It's the ways they are themselves are so large that the description of how they are only needs to be is they're male,
But
they're female,
I think you're
they're
thinking
black
of
or white or
something a little different, though. Mainly because I think that's backwards. Mainly because the X-Men didn't start off on television.
Right.
So it's a lot easier to say, oh, well, we can draw characteristics that are going to harken to the X-Men, but that's a lot different than starting off somewhere and then adapting it the other way around. Yeah. Because they should look. If you would have just put different clothes on both these characters, I would have no idea who they are.
No.
Very true, but that's the point. They didn't put different clothes. They still try to give you that hint. So there, you can tell. Of course, you'll always be able to tell who Andros is because of his hair, as long as he doesn't cut it right now on the show. All right,
I mean, Heckle looks like.
Heckle cannot tell.
Looks like
you cannot tell.
In that picture right there, from a distance, he looks like Joaquin Phoenix's
Joker.
Yeah. But the
He
thing
does.
is, with this team, their looks are very specific to them. You won't be able to like.
But
you're
here's
not gonna
the-
look at Heckle.
here's the
you're not gonna
downside
look
of
at
this.
so basic.
Yeah, but
Here's
that's
the
thing. You
downside
won't
of
look at
this.
Heckle
If they
and look at
have an
Mike, you're like,
issue,
same
if they
person.
have an issue where they have to go in disguise, you're not going to know who
there's
anybody,
no way.
who anybody is.
No, there isn't.
Besides
Well,
Kimberly's haircut.
Heckle and Mike, you won't know. You'll only know Kimberly, and you'll know Tanya because she's black. And that could be tough because if somebody else shows up.
She doesn't look black.
She doesn't look like. She looks slightly multicultural. She
kinda looks
like a
like
Joe.
Mindy Kaling or
She's kind of like a
something.
Joe, where it's like, oh my God,
Yeah.
you're racially ambiguous. At that one moment, you don't know what's going on.
very hard to tell.
So that's true. That is very true. The only person you will be able to tell you're right is Kimberly and Andros. Because everyone else, you're like, I don't know who they
does
are.
that take away from the story, though?
For me, it didn't because I knew what they were at the time when I'm reading it. But I can get how it can take away from the story. But the thing is, did it take away the story from you guys?
It only takes away from the story when there's other characters that you're supposed to know who they are and you
Yeah.
have no idea who they
It
are.
kind of slows it down.
Did
a
we
little
have
bit.
that moment since the first time? Since the first time.
Yeah,
I mean.
because like I said, when there was that, I think that issue with, I didn't know if it was Joel or if it was Joel from Lightspeed Rescue, or if it was Levi from Ninja Storm.
I had no
Right,
idea.
and that was on
Ninja
the
Steel,
first.
sorry.
And that was on the
Everybody-
first. That was on the first issue. It was pretty much Beyond the Grid.
Right, so it's very-
But on this one, I think they probably paid attention to where they made
because
the
there's only
mistake.
6 characters. to
No, I know.
focus
I
in
think
on.
that's what they're
And
doing.
I think
because
they
of that.
purposely picked these 6 characters because they have unique looks. I think Mike is the only one that's kind of like off, but Mike and Tanya.
My thing is, what I do need is for them when they're doing character design, I need more layers on other people than just Kimberly and what's his name.
Well, still, I mean, obviously
because I
it's really
like
different.
Kimberly's like whole look, the long jacket, blah blah yada yada. I like Heckle, long jacket, blah blah. But then it's like I need other people to have more than like everyone else has a cool kind of look except for Tanya. She's wearing a yellow T-shirt and a little thing.
Well, they
It's
just
like,
they picked her out of the '90s, man.
I know, but I'm like, hey, change your clothes. I don't know. Change your clothes.
picked her out
You
of the
need to look
90s.
like a raider.
This must be
You look
like a huge rush for
You
them.
need to
Man,
look like a
everybody's
space raider. Everyone else is at least putting on clothing that makes them look like some type of space raider or something.
Oh, okay.
She does not look like
So
when
we
they walk
finally-
into that bar later. She should not be.
We
there.
got the reveal of who the character is.
I love it.
Do you know who it is?
No, who is that? Like Eileen or whatever? Like, what is she from
a
anything
made-up
else?
character.
Yeah, that's what I said. I don't.
Oh, well, they did say that it was going to be a brand new character, and I'm fine.
Is it a missed opportunity for it not to be a throwback to somebody that's in the Power Ranger lore, or is this kind of like what you wanted to see? And do you expect this character to appear somewhere in the shows somewhere in the future?
I don't know about the shows right now, but I do expect her maybe to show up in more of the comics. Maybe Go-Go.
Do you think the Power Rangers should do what the Japanese version of Sentai does and kind of release either a made-for-TV movie or an extended movie where they kind of have it based on the current season that they're in?
Isn't that kind of what Turbo was?
I mean, it
Power
was.
Ranger, that's pretty much what it was.
Well, that was more of a bridge to show you what the new season was. I'm talking about like in the middle of a season having
Would it be
like
canon? Would it
yeah,
not be
yeah,
canon?
it would be.
Because I feel like a lot of those stuff are like very loose. It's very loose on the canon.
On the canon versus I mean that's true. Try to take all this stuff from Sentai where it's like across.
This is definitely not in. It's in a different dimension.
Yeah,
I mean that's
definitely.
very clear.
Yeah.
That this is not the same dimension.
Different
It's-
world. It's in space. It's totally Star Trek. It's Star Trek. They
don't know.
The person that didn't get much, like I want to say screen time.
You can still say it.
Yeah, is Cam. Cam.
I know.
He didn't do anything
Who?
in this.
The
comic.
question is who? I'm sorry,
like
who?
he didn't do anything in this episode or this
At all.
issue
At all. That was the
So,
thing.
That
Not
was
at all.
so, and they're also. It seems like they're trying to kind of have like this love thing between Tanya and Mike.
We'll see. Okay, is it
Yeah,
Tanya and
it's-
Mike or is it Tanya and Kim at one moment?
I
think it's Tanya and Mike.
Okay, because
Yeah.
other people were reading
Well,
and they
'cause
were
she-
like,
no,
they're
'cause, yeah,
okay.
she was
and I was
happy-
like,
she was
Kim's
happy-
only happy because she actually gets a team.
No.
No, but I'm talking about like how
Yeah.
because during this interaction, Kim said something to the extent of, well, yeah, I really appreciate it too, and like you know, like this kind of connection. I think Kim's just happy that she's actually part of a team and not brainwashed anymore.
Tanya's happy because Kim pulled Mike away.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
But the thing is, and I think but I wouldn't be opposed
No, I
to
wouldn't
seeing
be.
Tanya
Yeah,
and
I
Mike
wouldn't be opposed to
together.
it.
Tanya and Mike.
I feel
think
like
it could
with
work.
this in this comic book series, he's gonna be a little dark and like broody and kind of like whiny,
Yeah.
like just because he doesn't know.
Well, here's go ahead.
He doesn't know what happened to Leo. He doesn't know what's going on. He's kind
No.
of just like he's unable to just focus on what's going on right now. He's trying. He can't.
He
register
still has to
everything.
make. He has to make heads or tails of
Well,
everything. That's
here's the
the
thing. Does you think Andros feels somewhat of a demotion because he's not the leader of this team?
I think he's always been in this position, though, right?
I mean, I always, like I've said before, I feel that TJ was always the leader of that team, regardless.
I
But
think he's always been in that position. Like he's just, and he if you look at if you look at this issue, he's not really being a team player. He's kind of just focusing on relaying back information between him and Karam. He's
Yeah.
not real. It's not nothing really to help the team.
okay, so this is. I almost feel like if I asked Marguerite Bennett if you could choose 6 team of Power Rangers to be on your team, who would they be? And she made a story.
She made a story out of
So,
it.
Jezzer, I'm gonna ask you if you were gonna choose 6 Rangers for you to be on your team and to make
I
a story
wanna
out
talk
of, who
about
would it
that
be?
part.
Oh my gosh.
I want to talk about
The
that.
morphing?
Yes, I love the fact that like
I think
they
that's
make
probably my
sure
favorite part
they make sure
of
to
the-
point that out. That it's like each one, of course, has their own type
Roll
of
call.
morph. So we got to see it all, and she was kind of shocked, like, oh wow, so there are other Rangers. Okay, all right. I mean, I kind of thought so, but now I know for sure. And then her friend right behind her, like, there was a moment when they were talking in that little bar and everything, where it was like the friend kind of pointed out that she knows a little bit more about the Solar Ranger power more than she does. Like the actual Solar Ranger, she's like, remember, now when you're doing this, you have to know how to do this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
Like, kind of like walking her through some stuff. She's like, yeah, I know. And it's just like, so
Do you think she might have been?
where
a
they're going to
Ranger
team
before?
up, well, I don't think so. I think now with them teaming up and everything, she is, and I heard this on another review, and I read it somewhere else too, but I was thinking the same thing. She's going to, not like no more of the alpha role, but she's going to be more of the Mick role
Okay.
for the rest of the Rangers.
That's
I
fine.
feel that's what she'll be for them.
So they're gonna go back to the Terra Venture.
Back to what I was asking you though. If you could replace any of these Rangers to make a better team, would you have replaced any of them?
Wow. Probably Cam. I don't.
Who would you have replaced them with though?
I think Billy.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Billy.
Would you have
I
replaced?
agree, actually, and Billy is my choice because the thing is, like, Cam really doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah.
Like, once again, in this issue, no one cared. No one cared. Cam, go away. That's it. I would actually suggest Billy because it's like, okay, here goes another.
I think Billy's definitely the one I would not use.
You
Really?
wouldn't use Billy?
No, I would not use. I'm gonna try to stay away from Mighty
MMPR?
Morphin as I can.
Again?
But don't you want to see like
I would
Billy...
use Kendall.
Okay, yeah, Kendall would be a good choice too. But don't you want to see Billy kind of like get that leadership role? You know?
Well,
No,
see, that's
I
the
don't
thing.
know.
I
don't
wouldn't
care.
want. I wouldn't want to see him show up as a leader.
You get to
I
see
want him
Billy
to show up
become the leader when he's in Power Rangers, the Alien Rangers stuff.
Yeah.
Becomes leader then.
10 episodes.
He becomes like a mentor as well in Zeo. Like-
Who else would you? Is there anybody else? Would you take out Cam? Is that who you pull out to replace with Kendall?
I might take out Cam. Yeah, I think Cam's the only one that kind of maybe Cam hasn't done anything yet. Maybe
Yeah.
we're just waiting on that. But I definitely don't want to see any more Mighty Morphin.
The Magna Defender that I really want is the actual Magna
Yeah,
Defender.
me too.
Not Mike. I don't
wow.
know.
Okay.
I felt like as soon as Mike got revealed to be like the host of Magna Defender or the vessel for him, I felt like his character just like dropped off.
Oh, really?
Magna Defender, like even with what's his name's voice, he was so like it was great. Like
It was like a Western.
yeah, he was like Clint Eastwood, you know.
And then
So
he
seeing him
became
now-
like so kind of.
Kind of like a background character. He, like after
Yeah, he was barely in the season after that. Yeah.
after it was revealed that Mike was the Magna Defender now, like he wasn't even in the show really, like at all. So yeah, I want it
So
to be
it's a waste.
yeah, I'd want it to be Kerrigan's Magna Defender.
Okay.
That would
It would have just been the Magna Defender. All right, so let's move on to our next topic. Oh, were you guys looking for the next?
Oh yeah.
issue?
Oh no. How about the reveal at the very end, the actual baddie, where
Oh,
we
yeah.
He's new. He's new. He's not.
So you
been
know what
in-
this reminds me of? The reveal at the very end. It reminds me of Sentai, and the reason why it does is because Sentai always has a human-formed villain
Yes.
Yeah.
that always kind of becomes like a monster.
Doesn't
Yeah,
he kind of look
yeah.
like, if you look at him, doesn't he kind of look like it's Time Force or something?
I don't know. He looks like General Zod to me.
He looks like a bad A to me, and he does look like General Zod. Do you remember like General Zod when he first came down? Well, for New 52.
Oh, okay.
That helmet, and it's still the visor was there, and you can still see his mouth and everything.
That's gonna be
He does,
interesting.
but he's a new character. He's something that we haven't seen before.
But
like not in like the shows or anything.
I kind of liked having the Solar Ranger be on the bad side, because she's just cool. Like her
So
weapon is
quick
cool.
for that turnaround.
Yeah,
it was
it was
very
way
quick.
too quick. It was way too
very
quick.
quick. You wanted to at least go out for a little bit, like
Little bit.
for them to struggle and really fight and
Yeah,
see how strong
yeah.
she was.
Yeah.
But then if we did that and we found out that she's way OP, the problem is when she does join the team, then she wouldn't be OP.
Yeah.
Well, I
And
think,
how would
I
we
think
show
we're in a
that?
new era of Power Ranger comics where we're not focusing as much on the past as we are, or past things that tie down to the TV show as we are just bringing in new characters to make an actual universe. I do appreciate that. But I think there's always going to be a craving to see these characters in a live action mode. And I think that I wouldn't be shocked to see the Dark Ranger show up if they end up adapting Q Ranger maybe. But that would be way later on down the line. I actually don't expect, I mean, there's probably more of a craving for the Dark Ranger, Kimberly's Slayer Ranger than anybody else. But you're definitely not going to see that, or at least not played by Amy Jo Johnson. It'd be dope, though, if Naomi Scott's character came back in the next movie. Like from the future. She's like, hey, I'm back
Get
from the
out!
future.
If they did it but they would have to probably do it where it's just at the end of the film.
Well, no, what if
They would have to do it
Amy,
at the end
what
of
if
the
Amy
film.
Jo embraced this
It wouldn't
That's what I'm
matter
saying.
because she's not in the same age range, though, as this
But
Dark
see,
Ranger would be.
that would be interesting, no?
I
'Cause,
mean,
I
but
mean,
look at
if she's
look
time
at Jason
traveling,
David Frank.
if she's time traveling, let's just say at the end of the film, a time traveling, Amy Jo Johnson.
I mean, I guess
shows
they
up
could.
as her.
I mean, personally, I think Naomi Scott, like, coming back to like, be like, hey, in adapting that Ranger Slayer character for their version of the movies would be pretty cool.
That would be cool.
And Naomi Scott's gonna, after Aladdin, she's gonna be a big enough star to get that done.
Sure.
Yeah, Aladdin and Charlie's Angels.
Yeah, she's gonna be doing just
She's
fine.
not coming back unless it is the Dark Pink Ranger.
Let's
or
talk
whatever it
about
is.
something else. I want to talk about the merchandise. Oh yeah, let's talk about this. So I don't know if you guys know this or not, but the new Power Ranger visual guide, the official visual guide came out. We are mentioned in there. I don't know if you guys know that or not, but we are mentioned in there. We are mentioned in like a whole page is almost dedicated to us about references that they used in the book from us. I don't know if you guys knew that.
What?
Yeah.
I
So
had no idea.
yeah, I just found that out today. Thank you, Ranger Command Power Hour, for shouting us out and letting us know that we were even in the book. But we
Wow.
are definitely in the
Yeah,
book.
so we need to get that book now.
That's an honor. Jezzer,
think they're sending us one.
Give us your acceptance speech.
I think they're sending us one.
Go ahead.
But we are mentioned in there. We are mentioned for our interviews with various Rangers throughout doing our Morphin Mondays.
Wow.
So guess what, guys? If you want to check out Morphin Mondays, this is a good little segue.
Oh,
for you.
wow.
If you guys want to check out what we do on Morphin Mondays to get mentioned in books like this, check them out. They come out every Monday.
I was gonna say, tune
We
in
have
to
a
us on Monday.
preview for next Mondays. I think we have a preview
Yeah.
for Nikki Barrese. So hit it, Joe. We're gonna find out in a second if we actually have a preview.
All right,
But it is
Joe.
pretty cool to have that book, though.
I just want to say, Joe, let's send it to you.
There we go. Here we go. Take it away, Joe.
Hey guys, this is Joe with that hashtag show. I'm here with Nikki Barrese, the Yellow Zia Ranger, Yellow Turbo Ranger,
What am I
Tanya, one of the most iconic Yellow Rangers in Power Ranger history. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much.
So it's been 25 years since the show's been on the air.
doesn't look like
That's
that
a very time
that.
for any show, regardless of Power Rangers or anything else. Talk to me about some of your favorite memories from working on the show.
First, getting the job. That is a huge memory because I was in college at the time. I was going to school for acting, and I happened to be blessed with the role while I was a junior in college. Amazing. I remember my first time on set, being inside of the command center. I remember standing there and just looking around, just being in awe and just feeling so blessed. And everybody was very welcoming. So those were some of my very first memories of the show.
Did you watch the show before you got on it?
No, I didn't.
Exclusive right here.
Right, yeah, I did. Well, I was a college student, so I really didn't watch very much television, period. I didn't even know what Power Rangers was when I auditioned. They told me I needed to wear yellow. Didn't know I was replacing anybody. Didn't know I was going to be the Yellow Ranger. I just knew it was a job. An assistant needed to work. And
I don't know about you, but I want to know what you're talking about.
Find out who was on the other end of that fan question. It's a good one. I promise. Stay tuned. Also, you'll find out where Nakia thinks Tanya should be in the Power Ranger universe right now. And I think that's a really interesting answer, actually. Because if you guys look back, if you guys go back and watch the Johnny Young Bosch one, he actually gives like a legit spin-off of like, I was like, oh shit, like they really should do this story. Because he says, well, just go back and watch the video, but he has a great explanation of where he thinks Adam would be right now. But let's talk about, wow, we went all the way to the bottom. We're jumping around here. Let's talk about the Power Rangers 2017 movie VHS cover.
Yes, something that I'm pissed off about.
Why?
Okay, it's just a cover, guys. There's nothing else. There are no inserts. There's nothing like special, no limited edition, blah, blah, anything. It's just a cool cover. That's all it is, man.
Oh, so it's a variant cover.
It's the variant cover
So-
for a DVD.
But
How long has this movie been out, guys?
variant covers are pretty popular.
Yes, they are very popular. How long has this been out?
I know it's been out. It's been almost 2 years.
Let's go ahead and make a variant cover for a book that's not even a book. I'm sorry, for a movie. It's literally a slide for a movie that's been out for 2 years. Trust me, they'll
Hey,
eat it up.
time out. I bought the Stranger Things VHS one.
Okay, that was cool though.
Wait a minute, time out.
Because
Hold
there
on,
was so much
hold
stuff
on,
inside
hold
of
on,
that
hold on,
also.
hold on.
There was the book.
So
when it
comic
opened
books
and
get
everything.
re-released all the time with variant covers.
Yes, they do.
Is
Volume. No, but they get released like that when they come with volume.
No.
Oh,
Some-
regular
some
comic
get-
books come out with variant covers.
Right.
Yes,
Doesn't make any sense.
I'm also not a variant cover purchaser, but I do love variant covers. This makes me upset. This makes me upset because I'm not a purchaser. I'd say it was cool.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, I appreciate that. Look at that art, and that because I can
So you're
choose what
saying,
art I want to
you're
purchase.
saying it's a year too late.
Oh yeah, a year.
Yeah,
A
you're saying
year.
it's
You're
way-
being so polite.
it's way
Yes,
too late.
yes, it's way too late, and that's what upsets me. But it is cool, and that's what also upsets me because I'm looking at it like, I need to go to Target and buy this.
But
Why am I buying this? I already bought it.
No, but DVDs do this all the time though. Like they do release like
They
different.
do.
They do release different covers. They do like steel books like randomly.
That's what I really wanted. I wanted just more additional stuff. Even when you opened it, there was nothing on the insert.
Actually,
There's no inserts.
if you guys came to Angel Grove Prom, they gave us a ton of the movies.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lionsgate, for that.
Shout out to Lionsgate.
But Lionsgate gave us a ton of these, and I took one because I didn't know the
Yeah,
movie,
right.
and I watched all the behind the scenes stuff, and I was like, oh, it's gonna be short. I think it took me like
Oh no.
5 hours to get through everything.
There's a lot of scenes in there where
There's
it's
a
like,
lot.
why did you cut this out?
Yeah,
it's
right.
pretty good.
Oh man,
Like, why did you cut this out?
that's one of the things that really, it was like, oh man, you should have kept all this in.
Yeah.
That would have been great, but it would have been too long of a film, and et cetera, et cetera.
I don't know. The film was still pretty short. I mean, the
It
movie
was alright.
overall, I think, is really good. I'm not surprised they're not remaking it. Actually, I'm surprised that this movie didn't do as well as Venom did. That's number one.
Oh,
I'm
because
surprised.
it's
Yes,
a better
it's better
story
than
Venom.
Yes.
No, but I did watch Venom though. I didn't enjoy it.
Of course
Yes,
you did.
but I
'Cause you
watched
like
this.
Fast and
Okay,
Furious. Of
but I
course you
watched
did.
this and I enjoyed it. And this was actually a really good story. Just putting it together, know nothing about Power Rangers. Just, I'm gonna walk in and watch this film. This was good.
Yeah,
It was.
I do. I
and
agree.
I don't feel, and I still get upset that it was just the time in which it was released that it didn't get enough love as it should have.
Well,
Everybody
it
wants to go
was
see
like
other
a
movies.
week after Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, and that's a
And
problem.
Beauty and
if
the
we
Beast.
waited 2 or 3 weeks, not even 2.
No,
if we
I
waited
think
about probably
3 weeks.
a month.
I think yeah. a
No.
month. Yeah.
2 weeks. If it would have
2
came
weeks?
out the same week as Baby Boss, this would have won.
Really?
Oh,
man.
yeah, because that's true.
Because
right
Baby Boss
after-
took number 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
That's
this would have
true.
come out during the week of Baby Boss, this would
Yeah,
have
but
Because
I mean,
parents
they do
and
release.
kids would have been cool to go see this movie together, and the parents would be like, "Oh, well, it
They,
wasn't
yeah,
bad at all."
but they do release like different variant covers for DVDs, like especially during like right before Black Friday, they release. It's like what they're doing is they're trying to get rid of their old stuff.
But usually, what they do when they do that, though, they also have extra stuff that comes along, right?
Sometimes, not all the time. Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes it's just a different cover. What they're trying to do is like get rid of their old stock, but repackaging it so it's not like you're just adding old stock to different stores.
But this is the problem. I'm not gonna rush to the store and purchase this because I already have it now.
And
that's
true.
nothing cooler was about this. Like, give me some. Like I said, I love inserts. I'm a guy that does love the inserts. I love the paper, but I also want some extras. If you guys gave me at least a good amount of extras and stuff on it too, then what I already have,
special features.
those special features I already have on the Blu-ray DVD
Audio
thing.
commentary.
Give me a whole lot more. If you gave me a whole lot more,
So who's the
I will
target
trade
market
in.
audience for this?
People who haven't purchased it.
DVD collectors.
Or hardcore fans, super
Yeah,
hardcore,
sure.
more hardcore than Jezzer. Jezzer
True.
usually collects everything.
I don't collect everything.
You do, and then you try to resell it on eBay.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I'm a seller.
You're a seller.
Hey,
you're
well,
a
it happens.
connoisseur.
Yeah.
Let's move on to our next topic. This is this isn't going to be our last topic. We have a lot of time left, so
Oh,
I
man.
can rant a
The
little bit.
Dark Buster.
I am ready.
Really?
I am ready. So Blaze is going to be the Dark Ranger or the Dark Buster.
I told you guys all that.
Yes,
by
you
the way,
did.
on
Yes, he did.
exclusive.
Dude, I swear, I was thinking about that, and I was like, I was gonna scroll
It's not
through
just
the
Blaze.
video.
It's Blaze and Roxy.
Well,
just to let
yeah,
you know.
Blaze and Roxy.
As two.
Well, I don't want to say spoilers. Never mind.
I mean, the series.
Say it,
is
who
out.
gives a
Okay,
shit.
well, in the Sentai, the female one dies. The
Okay.
female evil one dies.
They're not
and
gonna
then,
die in this one.
See, that's the thing. But I watched like all of the whole arc of the Dark one, or the Blaze supposed to be, right? I cannot wait to see. Or I'm hoping we don't drop the ball on this
So
because
you
oh my
got-
god,
No, hold
I
on,
need to
Power
watch
We're not
this.
gonna drop
Dropping
the
the
ball.
ball? Come on, that doesn't happen.
Okay,
You took a lot of heat
okay,
last week
look.
for talking about something that's not out yet. Hey,
we took a lot of heat for saying that we liked Victor and Monty.
I don't care.
We did.
I
And
don't
you
care.
know what? The thing is, everyone else, when they really watch it, they always say, I like Victor Monty too.
Yeah.
And you people that don't, it's understandable. Not everyone's going to like everything. But what I am talking about
That
is
looks
the
cool.
Dark Buster was a bad A on the Sentai. I need it to be just as good here. And the problem is, every one of you, here in the studio audience and at home, you guys know that's probably not going to happen. And I'm already
my
upset.
gosh.
I'm already upset. But I need it to be good. He has so many power-ups, too, and so many different... God, it was so good. It
You
was
fin-
so
you
good. I'm
finished the series?
excited.
Did you
No,
finish?
I just kind of put some stuff together, watch it,
Does
cut
it
some
hold
stuff.
up after
Dude, it looks great.
Yeah?
This was done in 2014. It looks
2000?
good,
I thought
right?
It was 2007.
It's 2014.
Really? I
Yeah.
thought it was 2007. I must
It was
have-
2014.
Damn.
Well, 2013 to 2014, but mostly 2014. And it was good.
Actually, yeah, I don't know when it was.
Dude! It's okay.
It's-
Toku Kid is here in the studio, and he's telling me
No,
it's okay.
hold on. I
and
think-
I'm telling you, I
you think
enjoyed
this was
it.
good?
No.
Go Buster?
Well, dude, when I was watching it, just the fight scenes, actually, were great. were great.
Wait, hold.
When he gets introduced, dude, they're starting on a helipad.
I'm
and
not-
then they
I'm not
start to-
arguing the fight
It
scenes.
was no, that's the only thing I'm talking about. That's the
Okay.
only thing I'm excited
As
about.
a series-
Because taking that and putting it in, it's gonna be great. But the thing is, I know the A storyline
The
The A plot line.
Oh,
It's
man.
gonna be so bad. It's gonna be like this episode that we just saw through Ninja Steel,
Oh, my
where they're
God.
like, okay, for this episode, blah blah blah, doesn't know how to tie his shoe, derp derp derp, and then after that they go to really great action sequences and all this. Then they go back and it's like, oh, if I didn't have to fight the dark beast morpher, I would have learned how to tie my shoe, derp derp
So
derp.
you're,
And the end of the
saying,
episode.
so you're saying the tone of the show is exactly like the tone of
I'm afraid it's going to be, because remember, they're kids, so it's going to be like, and then remember the whole thing about, oh, we're going to shoot more, we're hiring the comedic element of the show, and blah, blah. We need to go back to our basics, and it's comedy and derpiness, and no!
Does rip mean like they want me to just start talking crap now?
Oh no, they said that you're rest in peace, Joe.
Oh, Joe's out of it. You're done. You don't even care about this.
I don't.
You
No.
don't. This
I mean,
is
look,
done.
Power Rangers.
Man, I had high hopes, but
Here
the
you go.
problem
Let me-
is
hey,
you don't
let
let
me-
me
Here you go.
down.
Wait, hold on.
Here's the deal.
Daniel, he's
Here
got
it
this.
comes.
He's got
Here
this,
it
Daniel.
comes.
I got it. There's a few problems I have. I do agree. I'm happy that they included us in that book, and I think that was cool. But I don't think that was necessarily Saban nor Hasbro's call. I think that happened to slide in there. But I'm gonna pull the curtain back a little bit and talk to you guys about a couple things. Number one, I don't know if any of you guys know this or not, but I mean, a lot of people don't know this, but I'm gonna say this anyway. So. Usually on videos, we're able to monetize. That's what keeps us going. That's what keeps the show on the air. But last week, guess who put a thumb on us? Toy and Hasbro. Now,
They did?
and I'm gonna tell you what, we appealed it mainly because this is a news program. We're just delivering news. And matter of fact, we didn't use any footage besides stills, which fall under
Everyone
fair
can
use.
Yep, that's right.
Say fall under fair use. So technically, we shouldn't have had that. However, I'm gonna go ahead and say this. So they want to. That's fine. I'm cool with them doing that, and I'll tell you why. Because if you guys don't know what the next series of the Sentai is, I'm just gonna tell you now. It's going to be an RPG series, and a lot of you guys already know that, but I'm telling you that now, mainly because I do know what it is. And it's going to be also feature 2 colors of the same range. And I know you're not looking forward to that, but that is what is supposed to happen. That's going to be revealed very soon. Also, now I'm just going to start leaking everything out, because if they're going to put a thumb on us, why not?
I love the fact that right now when you're doing that, Jezzer and I both had the same face of,
Yeah.
while you were telling it, like, what? Like,
So now,
shit's about to go down.
I'm gonna pull another curtain back a little bit. I know people from Hasbro are watching, so.
Oh boy, the spit
Hi,
is about to
guys.
hit
Hi,
this.
Hasbro.
But I will say this is that, look, if we work with a lot of big studios, and
Yeah.
I'm not saying that just to hype us up, but it's the facts. And the truth is, I don't know if anybody else knows this, but I wrote to them and I said, hey, I have this story about whose cast is Blaze and what that role is, and I'm gonna run it. And they said, do you mind holding off on it? And I said, sure. And they
Okay.
gave me everything.
Right.
They gave it to everybody else
They gave it to everybody else.
at the same time. So, but we're all gonna run it at the same time. But I
Yeah,
am
yeah.
putting this out there now. Now that I know that I have the track on everything, if you want to play ball, let's play ball. If not, then I'm sorry, we got to do what's best for us, and I'm gonna put that stuff out there. And when we put that stuff out there, hey, look, I don't know if anybody else knows this. At Morphicon, we heard everybody talking about this, and even Andre kind of mentioned it when he did his panel with them.
Yeah.
When they showed all the Rangers, guess what? Guess who announced that first? We did. And Andre even made a comment. He's like, "Oh, this is why we should keep it a secret." Hey, listen, keeping it a secret is just giving them the control. And and if they wanted to play ball, then they could play ball. And Toy came to our party for the movie premiere. So it's like, it's not like we don't have a relationship. They can be very protective of their properties, but guess what? If you go back and look at some of the stuff we're doing with Marvel and Disney and some of the stuff we're leaking with that, I mean, at this point now, Hasbro, you're on notice now. You're not going to be any different to me than anybody else. So I wanted to go ahead and say that, like, I think a lot of the reason why we got kind of like the finger put on us is because we've been very outspoken about what next season's going to be. That's not going to change. That's not going to change.
I mean,
You
make
mean-
make the season good.
Was it our impressions on what on Beast Morphers is what they?
I have a feeling. I mean, look, if you want, I mean, next week I'll even do something else that's different. We'll read the lines of what the villains were supposed to say here on the show. I mean, if that's the game that we'll
Oh my god!
So now it's just going to be different, and I think that, like, with I'm all cool with everything going on.
Right.
But the thing is, I feel like this is a way that they kind of put a thumb, and I know that I'll get phone calls from other Power Rangers from the past being like, hey, man, like,
Hey,
it's
maybe,
like, listen,
maybe it wasn't good.
at this
You don't
point,
wanna fight.
I don't care. I want what's best for the fandom. I'm not under the take from Hasbro. I'm not under the take from Saban. I'm not under the take from anybody.
No.
And if they want if they want what's best for the fans, give the fans what's best. Then don't try to brainwash them into thinking that you're going to do something differently. I feel like every single year we get this promise. Maybe not a promise.
That's
Maybe it's a
it.
false promise.
That's it.
But every single year we get this kind of glimmer of hope of like, oh well, guess we fixed it, guys. It's not going to be like last year. You remember Samurai's Mega Force is not going to be like that. Hey, we may have messed up in Mega Force. The Dino Charge is completely different. It's not. Everything's going to be great. You know what? You might not have liked the way Dino Charge ended. But just wait till we gave you Peter. We gave you guys Peter.
Yep,
So we're on the right track.
huh?
All right, you might not like Ninja Storm or Ninja Steel, but we just got bought by. Listen, it's the same showrunners. It's the same bullshit
but the thing
over
is,
again.
And you're right, because the thing is, like, they'll do that. That's exactly what happens. It becomes you may not have liked. We're not going to apologize, but you may not have liked, but you're going to love. And then when it comes out and you didn't love it, then it's, all right, look. Maybe you weren't paying attention to everything that was said. And we're going to give you all that you wanted for. Or blah, blah. You know, like, we're here for the fans. We're here for the fans every time. That's what you keep giving us. You keep telling us. We keep accepting it. Every time. And then you did it when you said, Beast Morphers is the next show, and you're gonna love it because blah blah. You know, Go Busters. How good was it? Everyone says how Go Busters is one that you need to watch. Blah blah. Like, you know, they'll say stuff like that.
I don't think that's what they said.
No
at
one
the
said
time.
that. No one
No
said.
one-
No one said that. No one said that. But I'm like, hey, you're gonna love it. And then finally, when they were like, all right, we have Go Busters, blah blah. Then all this other stuff starts to come out, where it was just like everyone's smile turned into a grimace very quickly. When it was like, so we hired the comedy people. What? What?
Yeah.
Why are you giving me this
Anyway,
info?
like
We
I was
did
saying,
this, we did
here's
that.
another big problem too, is that, and I feel like we get this a lot with Power Rangers, and it sucks because it happens all the time. They get hopes up all the time. Like we got it with Hyperforce, and everyone was like, oh, you know what? And listen, I appreciate the ambition that they try to do with Hyperforce, but it's like, hey, this is going to be completely interactive. The fans are going to be involved. And anybody could be a Power Ranger, and you know anybody could die at any moment.
Nope.
Fucking win.
No.
Nope.
When?
No.
Nope.
So I feel that like at the best that they are doing and executing, and mainly because I feel like the brand is really hands off with it, for the most part, is the comic book. But even that suffers. You ask Kyle Higgins. Go ahead and ask Kyle Higgins if he got to use the Rangers that he wanted to use for Shattered Grid. Go and ask him. He'll tell you. He'll tell you. So I think that under this guise of this bait and switch, and it's like, hey, we're listening to you guys. Are you?
Yeah.
Are you listening to us? Listen, and you know what?
Lord
Maybe
Dragon.
they are listening to us. Maybe they listened last week. Maybe they listened a little too much last week because they like what they want to hear, and when they want to hear something that's positive, they'll put it out there. When it's not, they're gonna put the thumb on it. And listen, they didn't put the thumb on the United States, so I appreciate that. But man, understand one thing, is that this show can be so much better than what you're giving it. And don't disrespect the fans that have been here for a long time, because there's a lot of fans that have invested not just money, but time and effort into this property. And respect them. And what I mean by that is that I honestly think that Power Rangers should be advancing its future forward and not living in the past. Once we live in the past with certain things like Power Rangers, it's never gonna grow. And the thing is,
Nostalgia only goes so much.
with Morphicon was a lot of steps in the right directions. Now, what I mean by that is that it seemed that Hasbro was trying to do a lot of outreach. Let's hope that continues, but let's hope they actually listen. And I don't mean listen by just hearing praise, but listen to the criticism also, because the criticism is what's going to make you better. Guess what? We at that hashtag show, we take a lot of criticism, but we face it head on. We're not going to bury people for the criticism we get. So take a page out of our book. Maybe, just maybe, if you listen to everybody and everybody's loud enough, then maybe you can get a product that you actually want. You guys got the comic book and you got it up to 35 issues, and that's all of us did that as a community, and I appreciate that. Some of the things that we're getting in the fandom, That's great. But you know what would be really great is if we got a fucking good show.
You?
Just for once. We've had for the last how many years? 8, 6?
Yeah.
No. 8 years.
Yeah,
For the
8
last
years.
8 years.
Oh my god.
For the last 8 years, you've given us stuff
Trigger.
that is not very good.
Very true.
And regardless of if people like the Disney era, the Saban era, regardless of those eras, they were better. They were different showrunners and better. I'm not saying anything against Chip Lynn, but let's be honest. You got to be real about it. 8 years. Now, I'm not going to blame Chip Lynn for the first 4 years because that wasn't his. That was Jonathan Zacher. But the last 4, you know, you came in to change stuff up, and this is exactly what Megaforce did. Well, we got Chip Lynn, guys. Fans, we got Chip Lynn, and we're off to the races. No, you fucking weren't. And now, here we go. If you're gonna do Beast Morphers, give us a good story. Story should come first.
That's all
Your
I'm
your
asking.
toy sales will follow. I promise you.
Yes.
I promise you, your toy sales will follow. But just give us good stories. That's all I care about. And I encourage every fan out there to voice their opinion on social media. But not just that, but I also encourage fans out there to get creative. And what I mean get creative is, you know what? I noticed something, and I've been doing a lot of research lately about Power Rangers and fan fictions, mainly because we have Cosmic Protectors, which is coming out very soon. Well, coming out in a while. It's going to be coming out hopefully in February. But I was doing a lot of research on this, and did you know that Power Rangers was one of the first? Actually, Star Trek was the first, but Power Rangers was one of the first to put the kibosh on a fan film because it was too good.
Really?
Yeah, and that was Adi Shankar's movie.
Oh.
So if you think about that, it's like, yeah, look, Star Wars encourages it. They have a contest for it. For Power Rangers, like, yeah, we encourage it too, as long as you're not too good.
Yeah.
So, guys, I encourage
That's kind of
you.
interesting because even Star Wars.
I encourage you right now to go and make stuff that is yours. Collaborate with other Rangers, other people in the Ranger community. Do things that are pushing the envelope, because once you push the envelope, they have no choice but to make it better than what you did. So if you think you can make it better than them, fucking do it. And not only do it, but make them make something better for everybody. Because at the end of the day, this should all be about encouragement. Whether if you look at the Geeks of East LA are doing a great job with their stuff.
Dude.
You got Steven Zarita, who made a great fan film. A lot of these people are making great stuff. Matter of fact, Steven Zarita's little fan film that he made with Brennan Mejia and Ciara Hanna was better than almost any episode of Super Mega Force or Dino Charge.
Wow.
So if fans are able to do it at that level, just get creative. You know, like I said, Star Wars is kind of on the forefront of this and letting their fans have expression, and not holding them down. So don't let this hold you down. And again, I'm not trying to say that, actually I am trying to say that next season probably won't be very good, but I'm not trying to discourage you from watching it, because at the end of the day, I hope I'm wrong. I hope wholeheartedly that I'm wrong. But I'm just a cog on this wheel. You know, once this is all over and Beast Morphers comes out, whether it's good or bad, people are still going to keep watching those shows. So I think that at the very least, if we're going to continue to give them our support, at least let them have something good for us to watch, so we can actually be excited to talk about it. Because I'll be honest with you, I'm not over the moon to talk about Super Ninja Steel, just to let you know. So I know that you have that same problem with Zeo, the comm writer, but I know it changed this week a little bit. You're going to talk about that. But anyway, I think, am I out of time? He's like, I still have a little time.
Well, okay, honestly, talking about it, your level of disappointment. After Power Morphicon, after everything that was announced, anything for Beast Morphers and blah, 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 honestly, being real, your level of disappointment when it comes to how the brand has been handled, has it become even larger?
What do you mean?
Like, are you far more disappointed even now than where you were when we first came in?
I'm not far disappointed. I don't want to be like every other. I just hate the false promises, or the false kind of like, hey, we got something good. It's just like, I'm done hiring my expectations. Now my expectations are extremely low, so it's not going to be tough to beat anything for the next coming up season. I think that, like I said, for me, I knew that if they were going to take it seriously and take the fans seriously, and they were going to do this like this secret Ranger agency thing, that they would skew a little older for their cast. That's not what happened, though. So it's kind of like, oh, so you're still marketing towards those 4 and 5-year-old kids. Gotcha. Like, and that's okay. That's fine because that's what the show's marketed towards. But it doesn't mean you can't make it good. Just saying.
Yeah. There are tons of shows kid shows that are on there that are still. They're aimed towards kids, but they still have great stories.
You know what? Star Wars Rebels is one of them.
Yeah.
Star Wars Rebels is aimed for TV7.
And it sells toys.
Sells toys, and it's a good story. It's not overly complicated. I mean, people can follow it. It doesn't take a lot. And I think that I'll be honest with you, another Hasbro property that a lot of people seem to like, and it has adult themes in it, is, what's it? My Little Pony.
We were talking about that and how there's oh boy. there's particular characters in there that do like,
and
when you finally get introduced to them, and you're like,
toys?
what? They sell a lot of toys.
Yeah, Transformers
sells a lot of toys.
So I mean, as long as the unfortunate part is, and this could be a Saban mandate. So like, it's like Chip Lynn. Okay, now that it's a Hasbro thing, is it going to be any better? You know what the part that really worried me though?
What?
Was when you heard in the press, or I think it was, it was one of our interviews, is that Chip Lynn is coming back because they want somebody to make Power Rangers feel familiar and not brand new. No, I want something to feel brand new.
Yeah.
I definitely want something to feel brand new.
You got to step out of the box. You got to be, you got to be adventurous. You got to try harder with some of this stuff.
You have to give me more than what I'm already been accustomed to, because the thing is, I don't want to watch the same thing. I want to see something different.
Exactly.
I didn't tune in to say, hey, let me watch a rerun.
And it's not like, oh, we're afraid to make a mistake because we might lose viewers. Like, no, you made like
You've made so many
mistakes already, and
just
people
go ahead
are
and
still
run
like,
with it.
hanging with you. So what's to say you can't explore different options?
And being honest, is there such a thing as a likelihood that you guys will make such of a bad season because you chose to be something different, that your fans are going to walk away? Because the last time I checked, you tried so hard to be the same and still made a bad season, and your fans have not walked away. We are loyal, but the thing is, you have to be loyal to us as well.
Yeah.
Give us exactly something that we're going to enjoy.
Super chat. Can't wait for Cosmic Protectors. Thank you so much, Larry. I know, however, all right, so here's one thing I do want to say, is that if you look at what the Neo Saban era did, is that forget about telling good stories. Let's just say that was a lost cause. But regardless of that, you messed up the 20th anniversary, and that's fine. I will say the 25th anniversary episode, even for being half an hour, was pretty decent for being half an hour, but it should have been longer. That's my own personal complaint.
And it could have been longer. There seems like
it could have been.
They could have dragged it out.
But I think the biggest problem I have, probably, is that you want something to feel familiar, and you're doing one thing that doesn't seem familiar whatsoever. And one thing that was always familiar about Power Rangers was tradition, and that tradition was a passing of the torch with team-up episodes. Where the fuck are those?
We haven't had one.
You want something to feel familiar, but you don't, and that has nothing to do with the past regimes.
No.
It just has to do with putting the effort. You sign these kids on for, oh man, that's another thing that I can go into, and I'm not going to right now, but you sign these kids on for a lot of years, and half of their contract is them sitting here at home, not doing anything. When you have them contracted to go back and do something. Use them. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Whatever. I'm going to go on more of a rant probably next week or probably tomorrow. But that's going to do it for us here on the Ranger Wrap-Up. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Up next is the Henshin Hangout. Like I said, though, you guys can speculate. I gave you a little ammunition. Now, the next season, I think, from what I've been told, is going to be taking place in the RPG world. And it's going to be 2 different colors, two of the same colors. I think it's going to be either 2 blues or 2 yellows this time around. I'm not sure yet, but I think it might be 2 blues. But, yeah, have fun with that. Let the speculation begin. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Where can everybody find you guys on social media?
Daniel?
Battlestar Galactica on Instagram, and that hashtag BSG on Twitter.
You?
All social media at Jezzer Zeus.
You can find me at that hashtag Joe, and Jezzer and I will be at the LA Comic-Con tomorrow.
Yeah.
For a very short amount of time.
Very short.
So if you're there in LA, check us out at LA Comic-Con for a very short amount of time. I'll put a Twitter message. I'll put something out on Twitter when I'm actually there.
We're here for 30 minutes. You gotta catch us now.
Show us out. We gotta go.
I mean, the shortest time I was at was Long Beach. I think I was there for an hour, a solid hour.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to get in and out and be done with what I got to do. But you can watch a live Morphin Monday tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's a fact. That'll be going on live. I mean, they'll be able to watch me do it live. Is what I'm saying. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much. You guys killed it today. Thank you. And go Dodgers.
Yep. Thanks, Larry, for the super chat.
Yeah, thank you, Larry, for the super chat. And check out Henshin Hangout. It's coming on in just about 30 minutes.
Yep.
30 minutes. See you soon.
Bye, guys.